Right, so we've had Sid's favourite tastes and Sid's favourite sensory perception on touch. Now I'm going to move on to the sense of sound. Again, another one very associated with memory. And the first one that I'm going to ask you about is now, this is interesting because you actually sent four in. So I think that that says a lot about this category. So I'm going to go through all four. And the
Okay, yeah.
first one I'm going to go for is cuckoo.
Oh, yeah. Cuckoo sounds a bit weird said by itself. It's just quite abstract, isn't it? Cuckoo. What is that? What does he mean? But I live in Sussex, and I've lived in the country pretty much since I was a teenager, 13, 12, something like that. And very lucky to live in the country. And one of the sounds that is really, really not edifying, encouraging is the cuckoo. And it's weird because there were many years when that bird we didn't hear them, and they just I think they were kind of on an endangered list on some level. And then a few years ago we started hearing them. The same with nightingales, but the cuckoo tells you that everything's going to be okay. You know, spring is coming. It's going to get warm now, and the fact that I'm here and stealing everybody's eggs, which cuckoos are kind of famous for doing, which makes I mean they're kind of yeah, they're not the most favorite. They're not everybody's favorite bird because they're little thieves. These are babies too, not cool, but still, I'll worry about that another day. I still love the sound of them. So not only do they sound really cool with that kind of cuckoo, cuckoo, but it's just the fact they mean so much as well as that sound. It means that spring is coming. And there's very few animals that you get such an alert from in Britain anyway. I'm sure there are other animals that portend, the beginning of winter, or fall is coming, autumn. But the cuckoo, that means all the February, deep, depressing February, long, dark days are over, and we are getting to the point where you can put your flip flops on.
That's cool. And especially at the moment, I think people are really looking forward to spring and summer at the moment because of everything that's been going on crazily in the world at the moment. So, so we had cuckoo. So another one that you've given me, which I think is a similar thing, because it's to do with nature, and that is heavy rain against the window.
Oh yeah. It was difficult because I was like, heavy rain against the roof was what I put on first, but we used to live in a flat and I never nowhere near the roof, so I must have been just as excited by the sound of it against the window. It's just something really comforting about it. It's like I'm in and safe and snug and probably going to sleep, and boom, everything's kicking off outside and it's really unpleasant out there, and it's just that feeling of total safety, and I'm in my spot. I'm in my right place. I found my little place. So I really love that sound of the rain beating the hell out of the window, because it just reflects on my solitude, my quietude, my relaxed place where I am. And even if I'm in bed with the wife, with Shauna, I'll be like, hear that? The rain against the window. It'd be like, it's just magical. And then we both go, yeah, that's right. It's amazing sound. It's amazing sound. So it's really, really cool.
Oh,
I really love
really
that
cool.
sound.
Yeah, I think I actually think that's one a lot of people can relate to. I totally relate to that one. It's one of my favourite sounds as well.
Yeah.
And talking of bed,
Yep.
one of the other three that you sent, four that you sent in, was parents talking downstairs after I was in bed.
Yeah, I really like that sound too. The fact that my parents I would go to bed and I was really whiny about going to bed. It was not a good thing. But when I did get up there and when I finally got off, went to sleep, apparently, I would get so much comfort from hearing people downstairs. Even more if it was like there were guests over and they were all chatting and laughing and all that sort of stuff. Again, it's comfort and safety and being in a place where you just feel secure. and that the sound of my parents talking downstairs. I'm really lucky. My parents didn't fight. Really bad. The sound of my parents fighting downstairs. Such, but the fact that they were chatting and they didn't, modify their volume or anything. They were just chit chatting, and I really loved that sound. It just made me feel that my clan was there. Nothing would go wrong with everybody around. And I still have the same, I still yearn for that now, and I can't get it. But I'll listen to the radio if I'm alone and I can't sleep. I'll just put on the radio. Hopefully, it's something like cricket, and I'll be right. Oh, gone. 20 minutes. I love listening to Test match cricket. I really do. I just think it's great. I love the game. I understand every element of it, but it puts me right to sleep when they talk about cakes, being sent in by old ladies.
Yeah, it's probably one of the few sports where cake gets a really good mention.
It does
as well. I'm totally with you on that one. And now the interesting one, the fourth one is it? I probably do know some piece of work by this composer, but I couldn't name it, or I couldn't tell you who it was. You've got a Berlioz Requiem.
Yeah, Berlioz. I think it's pronounced, but I don't really know. He's French. Hector Berlioz. And I don't think he bothers about how people pronounce his name if he was alive. But he wrote this thing called the Grand Messe de Mort, big mess of words, I think it means. And it's Berlioz Requiem. And it's the one I love is conducted by Sir Colin Davis. Probably about early 2000s, 2005, something like that. I can't remember, but around that time. And it is best played in a church because of the kind of acoustics of a church. It has something like, people can correct me, but three different whole complete choirs, 4 different brass sections of orchestras, 2 complete string sections. I mean, this is the biggest orchestra that you can get together reasonably for a piece of classical music. So it is vast. And Berlioz uses that vastness to amazing effect by building crescendos out of tiny little solos to huge things that rip the building to pieces if you're listening it with a high volume. And it's just one of the most fantastic. And I used to sit in my stepfather, Michael, had big speakers from the 70s or something, but he still treasured them. So he still had these huge speakers in the barn at home. And I would switch the lights off, put a record on, a Berlioz Requiem, and just listen to it in the dark. And it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. And I could sing along really badly to pretty much all of it. And it's still something that I find just majestic. And the ambition and the scope of it just tells you something about us as a human race. And the beauty of moments. I mean, of course, I like loads of other different music. I like Mozart and all, you name it. I like everything. I like Radiohead. But that particular Requiem is just so ambitious that I just think it deserves to be on a pedestal. So I'm a big fan.
Okay, and that's you've sold me. I'm totally going to get it and look on
Grab it.
Spotify and see if I can listen to it now, because I want to know what it is.
Yeah,
absolutely, totally. That's really cool. That's very, very cool. Thank you. So, just to recap, then, so we have the Berlioz Requiem, we have Heavy Rain Against the Window, we have The Sound of a Cuckoo heralding spring, and we have the sound of Sid's parents talking downstairs after he was in bed. Which of those 4? Which is an unusual thing, but I'm allowing you the 4th one because I think they're all particularly...
It's difficult to choose, yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to choose from. So we're going to give you all 4 of those to choose from, but which one do you think is Sid's number 1 favourite in that category?